Hello. I Am the Night, Color Me Black is this week's episode, and it's all about the darkness of hate as it prevails not just the Twilight Zone, but our ordinary world as well. So this stars Michael Constantine, who played a bunch of parts, but I recognize him from My Big Fat Greek Wedding 1 and 2, I think it is, where he plays the Greek father. He pulls that off really well. He was of Greek descent. Does the sheriff role really quite well. Paul Fix, who plays the newspaper editor, he has a filmography a mile long. Like this person had a huge career. I can't remember I've seen him in anything because it's before my time, but he was prolific, like so many things to his name. They shoot the sort of hanging scene out on a soundstage. I'm wondering if they had a little sort of miniature clock because sort of in the background, because it's only shown at a very specific angle. If you shot this outside, you could do it at various different places and still make it work. But now it's only shot at this particular angle to show off the clock in the background. And I think it's because it's a miniature and it's on this set. They have a more, the iconic noose thing, as opposed to the occurrence on Owl Creek Bridge, which we saw a few weeks ago, where they just had a sort of knot. So this is more in keeping with the style of Western movies and TV, and this is what we're expecting a noose to look like. They also have this wonderful shot where they shoot through the noose and onto Jagger. Striking cinematography, I think. It's a great shot of him turning and realizing his impending demise. Then the darkness descends upon the world, and they mention a street in Dallas, Texas. And this is a nod, or an homage maybe, to the assassination of John F. Kennedy, which had happened fairly recently at this point, and sort of wrote this episode as a reaction to that assassination. He also wrote an episode called "A Town That Turned to Dust," which is about another innocent man at a time in Mexico in the late 19th century who got lynched and killed. And he was a very sort of outspoken advocate against the sort of idea of just acting on your hatred. Which, as well he should. So, William Frug, who is the producer of this, wrote a similar episode to this called Many, Many Monkeys. And it is about people going sort of hysterically blind, I guess would be a good title. Initially, it was supposed to be that the skin sort of falls and covers their eyes, and people blame it on a nuclear explosion. But it turns out that it's just their hatred that makes them go blind, and they're blinded to the world. That episode was deemed too unsettling, so it didn't pop into existence until 1989, where you have a sort of hysterical blindness. We'll get there. The grind is real. So many more episodes to go. I also like the whole idea of things turning dark and blindness being a metaphor for the human condition. So I'd like to mention Sunrise, which is another Twilight Zone episode from the 2002 revival, where there's some kids trapped in a cave and the world grows dark and cold because you need to sacrifice someone in order to lift yourself out of the darkness. Very stark contrast in tone to this episode. And then, of course, there's the movie Blindness from 2008 with Mark Ruffalo, Julianne Moore, and Danny Glover, which has an epidemic of blindness and talks more about how when we can't confront the people that we're doing harm to, we are giving ourselves license to be bad people. So that entire movie is based on the premise that people will do horrible things when they can't actually look each other in the eye anymore. So it's a theme in TV and in movies to talk about blindness and darkness in this fashion, that it's tied to our nature. Next week is Sounds and Silences, and I look forward to